destroy the tyranny giant. We need the funding. 20% off all survival seed packages with the widest selection. 20% off all T-shirts, including the Hillary rape shirt that's now going viral. 30% off liver shield and many more at InfoWarsStore.com. You've seen how far InfoWars has come over the past decade, and you've seen how effective we've been against the New World Order system. Now is the time to support InfoWars in this historic fight. Visit InfoWarsStore.com and be part of the Operation Sleeping Giant Super Sale Fundraiser Marathon broadcast. And folks, I tell you every year we're going to the next level, and you see exponential growth. I mean, right now we are on the level playing field with the enemy. Thousands of articles admitting, from Newsweek to the New York Times, Alex Jones is the spirit of the movement against the New World Order. I mean, it's not a secret. I said, is this off record? And I was like, no, not really off record. But I mean, that's not just me saying that or the enemy saying that. Donald Trump knows that. So we're going to Roger Stone, who's now joining us, the hardest working guy out there. The guy works like 20 hours a day. It's insane. And he's got so much to cover. So I want to give him the floor on AGs going after investigations of Clintons. You're hearing this here first. How they try to plan to steal it, how Trump's going to fight back. So many angles. I want to just give him the floor now. Roger Stone, former head of Trump's campaign, obviously one of the prime movers out there exposing what's happening. Roger, thank you for joining us. You've got the floor. Take over.
Oh, it's great to be back with you. In all honesty, with Donald Trump pulling ahead in the polls, as I think I told you he would, we went out, we had a few too many of these last night. So I'm a little more late rising than I normally am. I'm very excited because the two things are happening here, Alex. Trump is gaining, and Hillary is imploding, bombshell after bombshell. When presumably Russian hackers or Putin himself arranges for the truth to get to the American people, the Clintons attack the source rather than the content. It, of course, makes the contents no less true, and they expose the theft of democracy and the humping of Bernie Sanders. They expose that Deborah Wasserman Schultz is a mole. She's the mole who stole the nomination for Hillary. So, and then on the heels of that, Alex, the IRS has opened a national investigation. Banner line piece today in the Daily Caller. I can now reveal that the Ohio Attorney General has opened a formal investigation. This is, I think, maybe on the InfoWars website. Remember that any place the Clinton Foundation did fundraising, which is to say all 50 states, they're regulated by the state attorney generals. The problem with that is their state filings, like their federal filings, are permeated with fraud and partial information. Some cases, no information. Some cases, lies. And we also know now that the IRS is looking specifically on epic skimming, meaning, for example, the nation of Norway says that they gave the Clinton Foundation X, but they only deposited Y. There's a number of these discrepancies involving government payments to the Clintons, which I think we recognize are bribes, but that are required to have disclosure in those countries. So this is, somebody is skimming off the top. Who could that be? But Bill and Hillary.
What did you make of the display last night? I mean, it looked like archetypal death. Clinton and all the tottering around and the politicos just looked like a group of criminals.
Pardon me for getting distracted by the rakish tilt of my hat. It was the raping of democracy. The Clintons are having the worst run of luck I have seen. If Bill thinks so highly of Hillary, why did he cheat on her with thousands and thousands of women? Now, as a libertine, I'm not really concerned with Bill Clinton's consensual sexual affairs. My problem is not marital infidelity or adultery or girlfriends or mistresses or consensual sex. But as I've written in the Clintons' War on Women, which you can get at Infowars.com at the store, the issue here is sexual assault and rape. It's bullying and violence against women. And Bill has perpetrated it. As you know, Hillary has covered it up by bullying Bill's victims.
Roger. Obviously, Trump is surging ahead. The fact that so many Bernie people, almost all of them we talked to now, say they're going for Trump. This has really got to be scaring Hillary. What do you expect her to strike back with?
Increasing attempts at censorship. I believe that the FEC and the FCC are harassing certain conservative news outlets over bogus complaints filed by David Brock that because you are pro-Trump, this constitutes some kind of corporate illegal contribution. It pretty much vacated by Citizens United. These are bogus complaints meant to harass news outlets into not covering, certain people. They're going to continue to play these kinds of games at censorship. Did you notice how there was not a single American flag in the hall on the first night of their convention? Not one. Where's the Stars and Stripes? These people hate America. They apologize for America. Donald Trump wants to reassert American power.
And that's not just rhetoric. Let's talk about that, but then you know them. Who are these modern Democrats? Because they seem like mental patients. I mean, they already run the country. Why do they want to wreck it?
Well, because they're driven by the tune that's been paid for by their funders. Hillary is a neocon. She's right over there with George W. Bush. The reason that the Russians are probably leaking this damning information is because they don't want a nuclear war either. Hillary's bent on a war that benefits her donors and the multinational corporations and the defense contractors that have already funded her assault on the White House. And Putin understands that. Putin, I think, sees in Trump a tough guy that he could make a peace deal with and both sides could live together. Is that not what we want? I think that's what we want.
No, instead, the globalists want to be underhanded and bring in global crisis. You can't do that with nuclear weapons now. Don't they understand? They can't pull a Napoleon or a Hitler today because it'll end the world.
Yeah, but this is the power game that I think that they are playing. And the establishment, including the international community, is hysterical about the rise of Trump. The rise of national.
And by the way, you're not just saying that. The Washington Post admitted, so did Bloomberg, that in the last week, top globalists, including the Chinese, have all been meeting and quote, how to, quote, double down and defeat the rise of populism. They admit world government's in trouble. So Trump and this whole movement has forced a global debate. Look at Brexit. This is incredible. Let's talk about that. And let's talk about the real polling numbers that you guys are getting, that you're researching, and really how far ahead Trump is and what you see in the last few months of this race. How will the empire strike back? I'm worried about false flags. I'm worried about an assassination attempt on Hillary, blamed on a patriot.
Well, when I was in Cleveland, I had an opportunity to meet with Nigel Farage. I understand that you met with him also. And then we saw him briefly there in I guess it was a bar. And he was very focused on the enormous success they had with blue-collar labor voters on Brexit. There's a lot there to be learned. See, I think that the hardworking, working-class Democrat, the people that pay their taxes, they don't go to demonstrations.
Hold on, we're going to skip this break. Go ahead.
They're not rioting. They love their country. They love their flag. Their children are in the service, their grandchildren in the service. These people are fed up. And I think they exit the party, which is left today as a party of limousine liberals, crazy whack job progressives, the professional Democratic gay establishment, which is not a gay establishment in America, I'm happy to say. Because I think Donald Trump is going to do extremely well among gay and lesbian voters because he's the only candidate who stands between them and Islamic terrorist immolation. Like black people, like Hispanics, like whites, we are all subject to this. First they kill the gays, then they kill the Christians.
Well, separate from statistically being killed by a jihadi, why wouldn't the Democrats stand against that? Why are they for Islam and radical forms of it? that is the opposite of being liberal. It's the opposite of Thomas Jefferson.
Well, because the muscular democratic foreign policy of guys like John Kennedy and Harry Truman, who we may have our criticisms of, but they were strongly anti-communist. Now, in the case of Truman, he broke the back of the communists in Greece when they tried to take over. Kennedy, I think, botched the Bay of Pigs. Probably should never have approved the lame brain plan of the Bay of Pigs. But remember, Alex, he got elected president by running as an anti-communist hawk to Nixon's right. So that stream of patriotic Democrat that loved America,
and he cut taxes by 50%.
They don't exist anymore. The Democratic Party is a conglomeration of whacked out extremists. They're the extreme. We're the mainstream.
Yeah, they keep calling us extreme because we want private property and lower taxes, and they spend all day trying to make us look weird when they are the freak show with Black Lives Matter on the stage. Nothing about all the dead police. I mean, they could have had Black Lives Matter family members and then the widows of dead cops and everybody hug. That would have been better for the Democrats, but they don't. But see, they hate the country so much, they've got to create the division.
Yeah, and no American flags.
Why would you not have American flags? It's just like it's the symbol of America's gone. We're the third world party now.
And they feature a long speech by the one woman we call Pocahontas, the woman who falsely claimed to be a Native American so that she could get certain preferences at Harvard. So, Alex, that was the most boring speech I've ever heard. I'd almost rather watch hate drives.
I was about to say, no energy. The Democrats look completely dead. So read us the tea leaves in the last 6-7 minutes. Give us other key things that are happening, Roger, because I mean, this is key.
Well, what's amazing is the way Trump is breaking out of the old model. You see, I think previously we thought of this based on the strategy being pursued by Hillary, which is the Obama strategy, which is not the Bill Clinton strategy. Get everyone on the left you can to vote for you. Register as many extras as you can. Some places try to vote illegals. That story will break. Conversely, that would make our strategy maximize every vote on the right and the center right. And the bet by the Clintons is that their stack is higher than ours. This is a strategy that worked for Barack Obama. Here's the folly in their argument. Trump can make incursions into small but key parts of their constituency. The people the Clintons' policies are leaving behind. She has people voting for her whose interests she is betraying every day.
You know, I was just putting a Daily Caller article up on screen for TV viewers, and it shows the RNC with American flags everywhere. And then it shows the DNC, no American flags. Looks like some high-tech communist Star Trek meeting. You have to understand, these are globalists. They are ending national sovereignty. They are destroying the nation state and bringing in unelected tyranny. I mean, the choice could not be clearer. I mean, I'm all for bringing immigrants in. They're great people. We need them. But make sure they're not felons and have them say, we want to be Americans. We want private property and self-defense and wealth. Okay, if you don't want that, we're not letting you in. You have to pledge allegiance. You have to say you're in the club. And I just can't believe they're trying to bring people in who don't want to be part of the club, or they're trying to indoctrinate them to be in this sick anti-freedom club. It is crazy.
I apologize. We had some internet issues there and a little electrical outage. So
I understand. I can hear you. But what other key points do we need to know, Roger?
Well, the polls show that Trump, therefore, is making these inroads in places like Western Pennsylvania, parts of Ohio. There's New York, upstate New York. New York could actually be in play. He's doing extraordinarily well in New Jersey, Michigan, showing growing strength.
Isn't he going to win New York?
Well, I think New York is the bluest state in the country. I mean, registration in the Republican Party in New York City is down to about 19%.
But there's got to be some pride there. What about Florida? He's going to dominate Florida?
It's not a pride question. The Bushes and the Patakis, the liberal Republicans, let the party go to shit. They have no fundraising base. They can't find candidates. They don't run anybody for the city offices. They leave candidates on the state ticket empty. It's pathetic. So Trump is bigger than the Republican Party, And he's got a lot of sizzle in his home state. And my guess is in the end, he'll fight for it. But all I'm saying is it is